we've been having some fun with the national championship game. We've got an updated guide coming out here at VSiN. It's 4.5 right now with Michigan Lane. Does the number feel right to you? Help us jump into the national championship game here.
Yeah, the number does feel right to me. It's very, very market efficient. You look at what Michigan does. They are a physical team, but they can score. They can play defense. They can really do it all. They're battle tested. You look at Washington, and this is a team offensively built to go. I think that you're going to see a Michigan team. Look, let me just say it. I'm taking Michigan to win. I'm taking Michigan to cover. I think they're the best team in college football. They have been all year long. But I'm not taking anything away from Washington. I think this is going to be a game where you could play the over, because what's the one great thing that Michigan does? Their defensive line got all over Alabama's O-line. Well, Michael Penix and Washington, they get the ball out in about half a second, man. They get it going out there. So they're going to score some points too. But, yeah, I'm taking Michigan here in this one.
Like that breakdown of that matchup. Let's go to the NFL. Saturday night, great matchup for a playoff spot. Houston laying now 1.5 on the road, Allan. The Colts catching 1.5 at home, total of 47.5. First of all, are you surprised now we've seen a move from the Colts as a favorite to a dog at home based on how successful they've been this year? And then is there anyone you like in this game?
No, I'm not surprised, and I'll tell you why. Only because Houston plays so aggressive, and this is a team that, yes, they're on the bubble there. They can make it, a run at this thing, but also they're a team that even if they don't, they're going to go out and play their best and really just, push the tempo here. I like Houston, to be completely honest with you. Again, it's nothing against Indianapolis. I respect what they have done, especially what they've gone through this season, but I just like Houston here, man. And if they're just a modicum more healthy than they've been the last 2 weeks, look out, because this is what this team is built to do.
So Circa posted San Francisco and Baltimore to win a championship. Yes is -115. No is -115. So obviously the rest of the field in the postseason. So I ask you, Allan Bell, San Francisco, Baltimore, yes or no?
Yes. All right. Now, the tough part is picking which one, right? We've seen this Super Bowl before, but, I'll say that these two teams are excellent in terms of what they do. San Francisco, they play great defense. We know that. We've seen Brock Purdy on a mission here. He's really only had one bad game, right? And he bounced back nicely from it. Then you look at Baltimore, and on the AFC side, I just question who really is going to knock them out. I mean, you don't ever want to count out Kansas City, and not that we buy in big to Baltimore because they've let us down before. But, yeah, to answer your question, I'll take that for sure. Those two. Yeah, and look, we could have a chance at both Harbaughs winning titles this year.
Oh, sounds like a nightmare.
That's a valid point. And, if I could just follow up on that, it's a down year. Like, this is big for Shanahan this year, Allan, because we were discussing, obviously, over at DraftKings in the market, the 49ers are your favorite to win a championship, and they should be. It's the most talented team. It's a literal down year across each conference. Like, San Francisco, this is Shanahan's year. He's got to get it done.
Yeah, he really does, right? And, from the aspect of they've been injured so badly the last 2 seasons, and now they have not a free shot, but, a window here to really, really solidify that. And if they do, I'm interested to see how the NFL market, correlates to that, because they've essentially said, we could find a quarterback. We are investing in our O-line, our D-line, and our, skill position running back. And, buddy, we can make it work. So if this plan looks good and works out as, we see, dude, it could change some things for teams looking for quarterbacks for sure.
Miami Dolphins hosting Buffalo on Sunday night in the last game of the regular season. This is going to be for the AFC East title. Miami has gone 1-3 against teams over 500 this year, 10 wins coming against teams under 500. Where are you on the Dolphins, and particularly in this matchup?
The over. Take the over in this game. You're going to see both teams just flat out going for it, as aggressive as possible, and they both do it offensively. Now, not counting out the defense for Miami, Jalen Ramsey and those guys, not counting out the defense for Buffalo, but these teams are built offensively, and they're built to go. Buffalo, they can control the pace a little bit more. They're not as explosive as they have been the last couple years. And we know Miami, they want to be explosive, and that's how they want to get down. I think the best way to play this is just take points. It's going to be a back-and-forth heavyweight fight here. I cannot wait to watch this game, and I'm glad that it's the last one of the week because it deserves to be.
Patrick, to Allan's point.
Allan Bell. Go ahead,
I was just going to say it's the highest total on the board at 48.5.
Yeah, 48.5, week 18. You see some of those. You don't see any 50s popping up. Let's go. Green Bay, Allen, they win. They're in. They're going to be hosting Chicago. We know how well Chicago's playing. Eberflus coaching for his job. Fields coaching for a resume. You've got Green Bay lane 3. Which way you going?
I'm going Chicago here. Look, and that's nothing against Green Bay, but, I like Matt LaFleur. I like Jordan Love. I like what this team does. That being said, I think that this Chicago team is built to play the spoiler. We saw the Packers and the Lions last year kind of in the same somewhat predicament position here. And I just like that Chicago coming in has nothing to play for except obviously what you mentioned, those two right there, but to ruin your season. And I think that Justin Fields and that team is built to do it. And Green Bay, they get a little nervous at times, man. Don't like that at all. So, yeah, I'll take Chicago to cover in this game.
Allan, when you look at the rest of the NFC, you've got teams like New Orleans taking on Atlanta, Carolina taking on Tampa. Are these games you would get involved in, or any particular area where you see an edge for bettors, whether it's on the money line, a side, a total?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, the Atlanta Falcons, and look, I understand that it's been a really weird year, and you're seeing fans week after week, all right? It seems like every Sunday afternoon, Fire Arthur Smith is trending, across the state of Georgia and Atlanta. But I'll tell you this, man, I've been around Arthur Smith a good amount when he was here in Tennessee, and this man is a hard-working, proud individual, and he is going to put as much effort as possible. Not that he doesn't every other week, but he knows exactly what time it is. He's not a dumb guy. Take Atlanta here with the points. Really good play.
Speaking of Tennessee, let's end here. Jacksonville at Tennessee. We're TBD on quarterbacks for both, but you've got Jacksonville win the division. They're laying 3.5. They're your home state.
Yeah, look, I'll tell you this. Take the over in this game as well. And if you want to look, well, first off, let's just talk about the points. You're going to see Tennessee defense is decimated. It's injured across the board. But you have players offensively that are playing for positions next year. Obviously, Jacksonville needs to win this game to have a chance to get in, win the division, whatever, right? So you're going to have the motivation on that side for Jacksonville. Number two, if you look at Tennessee, they can score some points here, especially when in a game they don't really care all that much, quote unquote. But let me say this here in Nashville. You've got some, storylines that you need to pay attention to. Number one, all right, you have a brand new general manager in Rand Carthon that came from San Francisco who is going to be seriously evaluating this roster right after this game. And guys know that they need to show out if they want to stick around here. Number two, Mike Vrabel. All right, he is not going to go out with a sour taste in his mouth. And then number three, if you're looking at player props, this is going to be Derrick Henry's last game with the Tennessee Titans. So he's going to give you max effort. And also behind that, running back Tajay Spears. Derrick Henry does not play on third downs because of his pass protection. Spears is going to get a ton of handoffs and a ton of short yardage passes. Look for props in the air for Tajay Spears and on the ground for Derrick Henry. Because remember, Derrick Henry's from Jacksonville area. And look at his numbers. He has always shown out against the Jaguars.
Beautiful. Is it a lock Vrabel's back?
It's a lock that the team wants him back. Now, if he wants to go out, right, like if they want to do some move for New England or anything like that, that's on the table. But as for the Tennessee Titans, absolutely. I mean, they're not going to let him go. You know what I'm saying? Like, it would be Vrabel that would have to force the issue. And with him, so you never know, man. He keeps it close to the vest. Yep. Yeah,
and he runs hot. So Carthon, the general manager, and Vrabel, it's a good relationship so far?
That's a big question. We don't know, and that's the question down here because I believe Mike Vrabel wanted to be the general manager and head coach. And when they hired Rand Carthon, look at the moves that you've seen him made this year. Really not any. You haven't heard his name whatsoever. So I'm not saying that the relationship is bad, but I'm not saying it's good either.
Visit VSiN.com to get current odds, listen for free, find showtimes, and download VSiN sports betting podcasts.